Well, Barcelona also has the Mobile World Congress, and the biggest companies in the world come every year. And also we host the Smart City Congress. This is February and this is November. So we are planning in this upper part of the city what we call the Smart City Campus. I will talk now about a project we are launching, but this is very much related with how we can learn one city for another city. The question is this: if you ask a doctor in Taipei, Abu Dhabi, and Barcelona about the parts of the human body, everyone will say the same. But if you ask an architect from Taipei, Abu Dhabi, and Barcelona about the definition of the parts of the city, everyone will say something different. So that's why we think that city needs a common language. And that's why we make this video in order to explain what we think about cities. So the first idea is that this is a wall made with environment, cities and buildings, connection and information. And this is exactly the same form of a network. I mean, if we want to mix technologies and urbanism, we need to have the same, let's say, structure. So that means that we can make the world compatible and to think the world as a network. The city is a system of systems. This is where my grandfather used to live. During many years, the cities were growing against the environment, and now we realize the environment can collapse. So we have also the ideas that objects are connected with buildings and have different scales. So as I said, you can imagine, in my house, I have books, or I have a bookshelf. 100 people will go to a bookstore. 1,000 people will not come to my house to read books. And what is important to understand is that urbanism is not only that happening in the big scale, but also can happen in the small scale. So everything can see as a multi-scalar approach. And another important thing, different technologies have different scales. My building, my house, doesn't have a nuclear plant. Nuclear plants are only for 10 million people. But my city and my building can have solar panels. So the idea is that we need to use different technologies for different scales. And we need to define which model we want to develop. In the same way, we can see objects, houses, buildings, blocks, neighborhood, district, city, metropolis, continent, to the whole Earth. So that means that from our bed to the planet, we can study and we can learn how the world is organized in a multi-scalar way. So here we are going to see how we can make a city by putting together different scales. Again, urbanism is not, or urban planning is not only about cities, but it's about all the different scales. We also can look at the buildings as the building or as the service. If we think that health, what is important is health, is not the hospital. We create hospitals to solve the health. But if we use, for example, technologies of information, we can use 50% of our health problems can be solved from our house. In the same way, the important is education, is not the schools. So the question is, we should think and rethink how to solve all these urban services by using the new technologies that we have in front of us. We have 6 infrastructures. First was information, second is water, third is energy, fourth is matter cycle with logistics and rubbish, material, fifth is mobility, and sixth is green. Basically we have all the cities around the world, we have the same infrastructure, and with these infrastructures you will see that we make the public space. Another crucial question is, we are building an information platform. Information platform is a new layer that we are adding to the cities. And obviously the last element, all of this was the URS, and this is the civitas. A person, in fact, is part of different networks. A person has a family, a club, different layers, like Google circles. A city is made out of environment, infrastructure, public space, nodes, information, as citizens, a system of systems. As you see here, we have like the anatomy of every city in the world. This is a new layer we are building right now in order to get information from everywhere and in order to promote a new way to manage the city. Once you know this, is to be able to evaluate how cities work, which is the resilience of Barcelona or Taipei, how much self-sufficient is Taipei, which is the competitivity of Taipei. So the question is how we define our goals for the city and we are able to check using numbers how the city performs. So that's why we are creating something that we call the city protocol. We need to invent or reinvent how to make cities using new technologies and integrating environment into the cities. So this is the new science of the cities. That's why we say we need to create something that allows the cities to understand and to collaborate between each other. In many cases, cities buy what they don't need. Cities buy what industry is selling to them. And in many cases, it's because the mayor of Barcelona doesn't talk with the mayor of Amsterdam and the mayor of Paris. But in the streets of Barcelona, Paris, and Amsterdam, we have the same cars, the same technologies, etc. So what is important is to define which standards we want to apply in our cities. So that's why we are promoting the idea of creating a new organization called the City Protocol Society, where cities, industry, organizations, academia, and the civil society can work together in order to define the cities in the 21st century that should be different to the cities in the 20th century. So that's why we say we want to create, if internet has something called the internet protocol, cities should have something called city protocol. Something that allows to work to improve our cities faster and better. We want to use standards and agreements from city protocol in order to plan the future of our cities. This is not the Barcelona protocol, it's the city protocol for everyone, and this was the first meeting with more than 30 cities, universities, organizations from all over the world in order to work on this. So I would like to propose formally to the city of Taipei to join the city protocol in order to work with other cities, in order to share your experience. This is open to all of you, architects and engineers, in order to join the city protocol, because in fact, when we start to work, ideas from everyone, contributions in a distributed way will be accepted in order to create the standards for the future of the cities. 谢谢。